having foreign invaders coming from the Sahel region, invading our country and committing all sorts of crime. And it looks like it's now a free-for-all. Though some pressure grows from the North feels that is invading the sovereignty of the country. What does this say about Nigeria as a country? How would the international space view Nigeria, knowing that it's now a free-for-all? Anything can happen. People can come from anywhere and determine the fate of the country.
Well, thank you very much. The reality is that in addressing or tackling terrorism, particularly of this of the nature of ISIS, which is a global terror network, states collaborate and work together. So it's not really an issue of sovereignty at this instance. It's more of how do you address the problem. When the Islamic State in Syria and Iraq, which is what ISIS is, when they first came up and in Iraq and were killing the Yazidis, slaughtering people and then doing all sorts, there was a global, the globe actually came together. I mean, NATO, the Arab countries came together to address these issues.
Now, talking about collaboration, we had those who are...
But my concern with what...
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, is that for the very first time, the Nigerian government has admitted that there is a ISIS presence in Nigeria. Because if you remember, all along, the government has been saying that these were bandits, these were farmers' headmen clashes, these were cattle rustlers. Now, for the very first time, the American pronouncements which Nigeria keyed into now, they have admitted that there are ISIS terrorists operating in Nigeria. Now, if you realize that ISIS has a singular purpose, the enthronement of an Islamic caliphate in any region where they operate, that means these guys have been here and they are actually trying to make it happen an Islamic caliphate in Nigeria. And what they do, wherever they whenever they come on board, is to exterminate non-Muslims. Which means by admitting that there is ISIS operating in Sokoto, the federal government of Nigeria has admitted that there is some element of Christian genocide going on. Because ISIS, wherever they operate, they commit genocide. They kill off in Iraq, for instance, they massacred and committed genocide against the Yazidi population. So likewise, if ISIS is operating in Sokoto, the federal government of Nigeria has simply admitted that to some extent there's a Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. Then you ask yourself, why have they been prevaricating on this issue? Since the government is aware that ISIS has been operating in Nigeria, why was it lying and telling Nigerians that what we have is farmer headsmen clash, bandits, and all sorts? And what has the government been doing until this American strike? You see, this government keys into issues and they make pronouncements without realizing that some Nigerians will also go through what is going on, what they are saying, and realize the foolishness in what they are trying to make us believe. ISIS has been operating, we've been saying that there's been Christian genocide going on, and this government keeps on saying no. What will ISIS be doing in Nigeria? Will it be killing the Muslims? No, of course it will kill the moderate Muslims. Because when ISIS operated in Iraq and the Levant, they also killed moderate Muslims, but they had a zero tolerance for other religions, such as the Christians and the others. So Nigeria, by these pronouncements, has admitted that with the presence of ISIS in Nigeria, there is indeed a Christian genocide going on in this country. Thank
you. Still taking a look at this military cooperation, people like Gumi have said that the government should halt cooperation with the U.S. government. What do you have to say about that, coming from Gumi, who supposedly, it looks like he's a voice among these guys, talking about these guys who have been a bane, a problem to the society?
Well, to some of us, the continuing freedom Sheikh Gumi enjoys proves to some extent the complicity of the Nigerian government in the criminality going on in the north. Because from his pronouncements, from his actions, from the role he plays, serving as an intermediary between the Nigerian government and the terrorists, serving as a conduit to fund or to send ransom monies to these characters, Sheikh Gumi enjoying freedom unless the government and security agencies are in collaboration with him. So his pronouncements are nonsensical. I mean, they are immaterial because picking him up or arresting him or even the dispensing of him is not going to be a big deal for the Americans. If they see him as a threat, if they see his pronouncement as making, as enabling terrorists, he will not be a problem because people who are far bigger than him have been taken out. He should go and ask the Hamas terrorists. He should go and ask the generals of the Iranian army what happened to them when they are deemed to be terrorists. So he can keep on talking the crap he's talking, but the Nigerian government should be ashamed that a character like Gumi still exists, still try to rubbish the Nigerian government's efforts at addressing criminality and terrorism, and they still hobnob with him. They still have meetings with him. But like I said earlier, it only buttresses the reality that this government we have is complicit, and I use that word strongly because if you're not complicit, how will you be telling us that 300 students were kidnapped and they keep on being released in batches and no arrests were made? How do you tell that all these terrorist attacks, no arrest, no prosecution, you just release them and everybody goes happy? Come on. The reality is that Gumi can continue saying what he's saying until the day he becomes or he's deemed as a threat to those who are serious to tackle the issue of terrorism. For now, he's just ranting about, and he's free to do that.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister. Let's go to our Benin guest.